The last few days in crypto have been really interesting, and the next couple of days are also very telling with the monthly close coming up too. So I just want to dive into the charts, look at a bunch of different things, give you a quick update with my thoughts on where we are with the crypto markets. What's up guys, Dirk here from Intelligent Cryptocurrency. If you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe down below, click that notification bell if you do, so you get all my future updates. You can also get on my email list. It is the first link in the description down below. That way I can send you updates, and also when I upload a new video, I'll send you a quick email. And you're also welcome to follow on Instagram, Twitter, and join our free public Telegram channel. The links are in the description down below. Alright, so there's so much to share right now. Bitcoin is back at 40,591. It had a nice bounce, but the dollar index is cruising higher and higher. We've also got the stock markets. There's a lot to look at, so let's dive straight in and start with Bitcoin over here, which, as you can see, this is a 3-day chart. This is a very important 200 moving average on the 3-day. As you can see, I've been sharing this for the last couple of weeks also. We have had a lot of support here on this 200 moving average on the 3-day chart. And while we have had some wicks below, we have still not had that sell-off and that close below it and that capitulation as we saw in the 2018 bear market and the 2020 health crisis sell-off, those crashes. So we are at a point where if this goes below, it's likely to crash, seeing that this only happened in the last 5 years 2 times. But we actually had a 3-day close just ever so slightly below it, and that was, in my opinion, the opportunity, the moment that the bears could have pushed this down into a capitulation if they wanted to. The opportunity was there, but it didn't happen. Also, with so many people having a bearish expectation, what I'm seeing on social media, lots of people are calling for drops into the 20,000s, for a massive capitulation, for more bear market, for a repeat of the 2018 bear market. And usually when the sentiment is so one-sided, when everyone is expecting it to drop more, the opposite tends to happen. The market rarely goes where the majority wants it to go. So it's not a guaranteed thing, but in my opinion, I'm seeing the sentiment is overly bearish. And with this 200 moving average on the 3-day being so well defended, there's quite a chance actually that we might see a pump instead of a capitulation. Now, if we go back to the weekly chart, this is also important. As I've been sharing this 50-week moving average, we want to get back above that to really be back in bullish territory and to be more confident in saying, hey, we have an extended bull run or maybe a continuation of the bull run, which is something I do still expect in the next 1 to 2 years, but maybe sooner, because this double top scenario usually does not end bull market. So we could see this as a giant kind of accumulation period potentially, where 2020 and 2021 was just building this base, this foundation for a much bigger run up for the final continuation or potentially blow off top, where we will see Bitcoin likely go far over $100,000 when that does happen. The only big question right now is, do we still get that capitulation down into the $20,000 level? It is a potential, right? But even if it does happen, like we saw, it usually quickly recovers all the way. This recovered in a month, this recovered in less than 6 months. So even if we do get some sort of flash crash down, which I'm starting to still doubt that we are going to get it, but if we do, it's a buying opportunity. We'll likely recover quicker. And I think we're still going to new all-time highs within the next 1 to 2 years, maybe even sooner than that. Okay, let me change gears and hop over into the dollar index, which has also been important. I made a complete video about this and the inverse correlation of cryptocurrencies to the dollar index. I will link to it up here or down in the description below, so you can check that out if you haven't yet. But you can basically see when we had a downward trending dollar index, that is when we had the cryptocurrency bull run in 2017 and in 2021. The entire bear market of 2018 was when the dollar index was trending upwards. Now, our entire bear market that we've seen in crypto so far has been when the dollar index has been trending up, and actually it started back in May last year, and then it continued moving higher, and a lot of the altcoins actually peaked in May last year, even though we did set a higher high with Bitcoin and a bunch of altcoins, but not all of them later on in the year in November. But that has basically been our bear market over the last year, as the dollar index has been trending higher. And as you can see here in that video I made also, we are approaching a zone of previous tops and resistance in the dollar index. You can see also we had the negative bearish divergence on the RSI, which is the same thing that we are seeing right now, where the dollar index is making a higher high versus the RSI making a lower high. This is a daily time frame. You can see this happened at the peak, which started the 2017 bull run. It happened at the peak over here, which started the 2021 bull run. And now we are seeing it again at a point where we are moving close to that previous resistance, like I said, somewhere between 102 and potentially 104. But we might be seeing signs here that we could be getting a top here in the dollar index for it to start reversing back down. If that happens, well, both previous times of the entire bull markets, that was during a fall in the strength of the dollar index. So if we do get an extended bearish period in the dollar index, that could be really, really good for crypto and potentially ignite a continuation of the 2021 bull run that might lead us to Bitcoin over $100,000. And of course, that would result in altcoins also having a larger move to the upside. Then switching over to the stock markets, and I like to use the SPX, the S&P 500, as a general indicator for that because it's pretty indicative of the overall stock market in the US and everything that follows there. So obviously, we have seen a big correlation with Bitcoin and crypto and the stock market. So while we've had this bullish stock market, it has generally been positive for crypto or helpful for crypto. But when we start seeing the stock market sell off, crypto, Bitcoin, also tends to sell off. So when we have downwards pressure on the stock market, it is unlikely that Bitcoin and crypto decouples at this point in time. We haven't seen that yet. So while we've had this kind of volatility and these drops in the stock market, it's also been rough for Bitcoin because you can see that started pretty much around the same time as we've had this Bitcoin bearish period. So what we might be seeing forming here is we might be seeing an inverse head and shoulders and a continuation to the upside. Some people are talking about this, that we get a melt up in the stock market, in the equity market. So instead of the crash that a lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are expecting, as well as a lot of cash that is sitting sidelined, preparing for a crash, thinking everything's going to crash, instead of that happening just yet, we get one final major leg up in the stock markets, in the equities, where everything goes absolutely insane. That is the euphoria, the thrill phase. Right before, after that, obviously, we might see a major crash and recession. But it is possible that we do get the setup over here, inverse head and shoulders, and we make a run for the next several months in the stock markets. And that would also coincide potentially with a reversal in the dollar index and a continuation of crypto. So these are just some things that I'm looking at, all in combination, how it works together. Obviously, I could be completely wrong here, but this is what I'm seeing. We're looking at the previous historic correlations, looking at the dollar index, and we're looking at Bitcoin itself, which has now been in a multi-month bear market. We're seeing a big accumulation phase. A lot of money is still flowing into crypto, like I shared in my previous video with the update with venture capital investment being the highest level ever in Q1 of this year, even in the bearish period. So a ton of money is still flowing into the space. Accumulation is happening. A lot of the sentiment, the retail sentiment, is bearish. People are still expecting it to go lower. A lot of people have lost interest completely in crypto, which sets the right stage for a potential continuation of crypto to the upside and potentially new highs within the next 1 to 2 years for Bitcoin, maybe even sooner than that. And thus, if Bitcoin would do that, obviously Ethereum was likely going to outperform Bitcoin, and certain altcoins are going to have crazy moves. So I am actually feeling very optimistic about the situation that we are currently still in with crypto, how it's setting up. And so far, things are looking pretty good for potentially continuation. So there's only 4 days left of the month. You can see over here, we're currently at a negative 10.73%, but 4 days, anything can happen. Markets could pump, markets could dump. There is still a chance that April ends up green, as it historically is, but there is still about 4 days left. Also, we have options expiry this Friday, and the maximum paying price is $41,000. That is the level where if at the time of expiry on Friday for these options, it is around $41,000. it would cause the maximum amount of pain to both calls and puts, which is something that market makers tend to try and push markets towards for that close. So we'll see how that ends up happening on Friday, where the market's going to be, and then of course how the monthly candle is going to close. I will give a monthly update as usual on the 1st, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel, get on my email list so I can send you that. I do that on the 1st of every month with predictions moving forward, how the monthly candle looks, and we are going to be doing that this Sunday on the 1st of May. And so far things are looking good, but that close is going to be very, very important. So hopefully we are going to get a push into the mid 40,000s for that monthly close, because then things are going to look good for a continuation. But either way, short term, whether we move up from here or whether we still go a bit lower, we have some sort of flash crash, I think still in the long term, over the next, not even that crazy, 1 to 2 years, things are starting to look very, very good for future upside. And of course, everyone who positions himself when markets are low, when sentiment is fearful, when nobody is interested, they are going to be the ones that are going to get the benefit of that huge upside of the 10x, 20x, 50x that most people won't see because they've lost interest in crypto, or they don't get interested until we get back into that greed and euphoria phase at the top of markets, where most new retail investors that haven't been through a market cycle, they tend to purchase the tops of those market cycles and then go through huge drawdowns. So right now is the time to pay attention and to prepare yourself, or to even position yourself for those future upside bull runs. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment. What do you think? And I will see you in the next video. Peace.